All right, pre-show shenanigans. This is one of the most exciting days of the year. All right, the
Moments of
MLB
our
All-Star Game
lives.
is today. I know we've been waiting all summer for it. It's finally here. The Olympics are about to happen. We've been waiting years for this finally to come, and now it's happening. Oh yeah, and then also the college football video game. That one's also coming out. A little less important in the news, but and realistically, what a weekend! Wow, what a Saturday!
A lot of stuff.
I not necessarily the biggest sporting weekend, but what a weekend in general overall. I guess internationally, big weekend. All right, Copa America finals, Euros finals. Big time weekend. But nobody in the world had a bigger weekend than me. Okay, Everett. Over the
And
weekend.
you.
Now we around a year ago right now, I made a promise to the podcast. I'd watch Game of Thrones, review it season by season as it popped up. That quickly died when football season rolled around. The second football was back, I didn't have time to watch Game of Thrones. I had to watch film. So there was no time to watch any Game of Thrones. But right now, in a little bit of a whisper, off season, little bit of an off season. I have a little bit of time to dive into worlds, and so we're breaking that down right now. Game of Thrones. I won't really say many spoilers. I'll try to keep it.
Yeah, we'll keep it a little
vague,
under wraps. However,
but just in case,
it's been out for a long time, so
yeah, I think
there's a little less of
it's
a
in
concern.
the area where it's completely valid. Like if anything, a majority of people have
House
seen
of
the show.
Dragons a little bit different.
Yeah, that no,
Yeah,
I won't spoil that.
House of Dragons a little different. That's a little different.
Game of Thrones, though, yeah, at this point, everyone's seen it, and if anything, somebody who's about to tell you his reactions to watching the Red Wedding for the first time, that's more entertaining than anything else you could probably get for a majority of people who have seen Game of Thrones. So I just watched the Red Wedding last night.
Well, let me ask you this, Grant. Let's get a little comparison.
I was aware that the main person who died in the Red Wedding, I was aware that was happening. Everyone else, though, was not aware.
Let's ask this comparative question, right? What sporting event would you compare the Red Wedding to? Malice at the Palace? What happened at Copa America?
That's an instant thought.
What event are we?
Malice in the Palace fighting immediately. That's what you would think of.
But there kind of needs to be some premeditation.
I'm more so getting at the betrayal aspect of the Red Wedding.
Are we talking about Tim Donaghy?
No. I'm more so thinking of a scenario of a player, kind of not LeBron.
Who's
something
the girl?
Like LeBron leaving, turning.
Tonya Harding using a crowbar to break that one girl's leg and skating.
That might be there for what it could be in terms of sabotage. Yeah. That's definitely up there. Hard to think, I can't quite think of a sports reference to compare it. This is one thing I'll say though, okay? Leading up to, the event that occurred at the wedding, it seemed as if, though, things were nice and happy. One thing that I will say, though, it seemed like the wedding was quite rushed. They were hyping up the Joffrey Sansa wedding since like season 1.
Well, they needed some territory. They needed some territory though.
No,
that's kind of why.
Every move is all comes down to how it will help you gain land or yada yada, become Lord of Winterfell, whatever bullshit, yada yada. But one thing that really interested me about that was the guy, literally what ended up happening is that the fucking the weird ass lamp holder from Harry Potter. That guy fucking just turns on the Starks and everyone.
Walder Frey.
Yeah, Walder Frey, lamp guy from Harry Potter, just turns on everybody. And now I was aware before I started the episode. I knew this is Red Wedding episode, so I knew that this wedding was going to be the Red Wedding. I will say though, if I wasn't aware of that, I don't think I would have expected this to be the Red Wedding until the red happened, if that makes sense. I did not really get hints that this is going to be a betrayal at all. Obviously, the last 2 seconds leading up to it, it's quite obvious. But like the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? Actually, things are actually going well. Robb Stark made a promise to marry one of this dude's daughters, who, by the way, objectively speaking, the daughters weren't that ugly. The way they were taught, the way that Catelyn Stark initially told Robb, like, hey, for us to cross this river and capture Jaime Lannister, like, you need to marry their daughter. The way Catelyn, however you pronounce it, the way Lady Stark was telling Robb Stark about these girls, Lady Stark made it seem like these girls were literally not even human beings. Okay. They were not that ugly. Okay. I blame a lot of this on Lady Stark for planting in Robb Stark's mind that
he needed to go find somebody else.
Harry Potter dudes' daughters are horrifying. Like just a lot of this can come down to Lady Stark. Okay. Lady Stark did not need to include that detail. Okay. Was not necessary at all, but she decided
very
to include
unnecessary.
It. If they just tell Robb Stark, like, yeah, like she's pretty good looking, and like every marriage in Westeros, you're not actually who you're married to. It's just in public. You don't actually exactly ever in your life. So like, so many issues there, but just Walder Frey turning.
Grant, I'll give you like 10 more seconds to wrap up. Final comments.
Joffrey's awful. That's all I gotta say. Can't wait.
Okay,
I'm going to be dancing on his grave.
Him or Kristen Cole, Grant?
Good question. It's a damn good question. I think the answer
There'd be another person I'd put in there, but you haven't reached that part in Game of Thrones yet. So.
My brother just been telling me, wait for Pedro Pascal. Has he came in yet? I'm like, no, not yet. He's like,
he's about to for you, but he's good. There's a guy who's
he's
just
a good guy.
A complete asshole.
I kind of want to hear Pedro Pascal be an ass, but okay. I would say right now, my biggest suspicions are Littlefinger. Very curious what he's up to. Tywin, of course. Always looking at Tywin. What's Tywin up to? And then last like big character that I'm just interested to just see what happens is the Hound. The Hound's with just like Arya right now, and like the Hound's sick. The Hound's a great character, and like the Hound like dipped Joffrey Kingsguard on past Battle of Blackwater. He's off doing his own thing, yada yada. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's quite obvious that the Hound and Arya Stark are gonna go on there.
It's like a buddy comedy film.
No, literally this, when characters go off on their own, it just becomes a buddy comedy. Like Bran just met up with Sam, like fucking like Jaime was just traveling with Brienne from Tarth for the whole 3rd season. Like they just meet up random characters who just become friends and go on a Frodo adventure with Samwise Grangey. All right, that's what we're doing right now. It's just Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Nothing really else to say, but you know what? That's gonna wrap up the pre-show. Red Wedding. Oh my god, it would have been a lot crazier if I wasn't aware, because Robb Stark has been such a big storyline for the past 3 seasons, and now it's just gone. But that just means we have more times for King's Landing. So I'm kind of hyped. And just cut all Daenerys scenes. You were right about that. It's anything that isn't happening, like pretty much in King's Landing, I don't care.
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah. I would say though, when will I start Breaking Bad? Have you seen Breaking Bad? Right? You haven't seen it, right?
No, but you know what? I'm gonna
go
for everybody's sake. I'm cutting us off. I'm cutting the line here.
Can you start the episode? Bad,
we're starting the episode.
Just promise.
We're starting the episode.
Yeah, we'll start. But Everett's gonna watch Breaking Bad. You'll get those reviews. But without further ado, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 239, and the brand new Home Run Derby was yesterday. The MLB All-Star Game is today. Spain won the Euros, Argentina won the Copa America, but none of that matters because College Football 25 is out, and there's a Waterboy live streaming going on probably right now when you're watching this. If you're watching on Tuesday, or we'll be on YouTube, we'll be on TikTok, we'll be streaming all week on both platforms. Check us out. Big time stuff coming this week with the Waterboy live streams. A lot of exciting stuff planned. Going to be unfortunate news that Team Builder's not in the game yet, but we'll be starting a fresh, clean dynasty. Everett and I were spinning the wheels to create these teams. It's completely up.
Wheels of fate.
We don't pick anything here. The wheel picks everything. And we're going to get a good little league going. All right. Wheels picking our conference, Wheels picking which state we're playing in. For at least my team, the wheel will pick my colors. Everett, I think you want to pick your colors, but the wheel's picking mine. Okay. So everything to me is up to the wheel. I will have zero influence in any of the decision making. Everett will be.
You will have influence in the team name though, like the school name.
Oh, I don't think that's that is true. I'm not exactly sure how we randomize that. My first thought was depending on the state. I was gonna make a quick Wikipedia search on geographically significant landmarks of that state.
You know what? That or birds or just
it
things,
could be birds.
Events.
It could be anything.
Yeah, could be.
We don't know yet. We're gonna have to find out the state first before we make that decision.
Yeah, and it cannot already exist. You cannot be the California Bears. Doesn't work. You got Berkeley. So
of course not. Duh. Should have been a given. Should have been a given.
Yeah, but I have to clarify.
Yeah, but we're not. It's completely up to fate. Completely up to the wheel.
Yeah, the only downside is it will be very contingent on both you and my Wi-Fi because our connections have historically been poor.
We'll see what goes down.
Locations.
But yeah, this could be big time stuff. But Everett, a lot of stuff going on. Real quick, just soccer, just to get this out of the way. Because big time. That was probably the biggest. That was the biggest thing that happened over the weekend in terms of sports. My favorite part about these international tournaments, Everett, is how random ass young guys that you've never heard of in your life. And keep in mind, we're both 22. Mm-hmm. Everyone I'm about to mention is younger than us. Okay. And all of these guys, just off of a summer tournament, and international soccer is just so unstructured compared to club soccer. There's not much teamwork involved. They had maybe a week and a half to practice before the Euros started. So it's not very organized. It's not very well structured. But these four guys just essentially made a name off of themselves from the Euros, just like how your dog, Federico Chiesa, made a name off himself in the last Euros. This is just how this works. If you go off in these international tournaments, that's the biggest growth you can make in your career.
I would agree with that.
So just I just
look at Saka when Saka was it 4-5 years ago?
Saka ended up hurting himself by missing that penalty in the Euros, even though realistically that should have had zero influence over him. Quick soccer talk. Manager Southgate sub Saka on in extra time, and Saka's third kick of the game was the very last penalty. Do you think that's a great idea to sub on your 20-year-old,
18-year-old
for his third touch? 18. Yeah, at the time he was that young. Do you really want to sub on your 18-year-old winger for his third touch of the game to be a penalty kick, the last penalty kick? You think that's going to end in success? No.
Wasn't it Sterling who didn't want to? Sterling was the one who didn't want to kick it, right? That's why he got subbed on.
No, he got off, just subbed off. He subbed on Saka, Rashford, and Sancho. All three missed. Yeah, so you can make your own decisions, but these four guys, I want to shout them out. They've just made a name of themselves. If they carry this momentum further, they can become legendary. A couple of them already are. But starting off, the golden boy everyone's heard of, Lamine Yamal, absolutely unreal, youngest goal scorer in Euros history. He just turned 17, a day before the final on Sunday. And he had, I think, finished the tournament with 1 goal and 4 assists in 6 matches, which is
pretty good.
Unheard of. As of right now, Lamine Yamal has more European tournament assists than Cristiano Ronaldo. Lamine Yamal, 17
but that also makes sense.
Yeah,
that also makes sense.
But it's what? He has more assists than Ronaldo already? He's 17. He's only played in 1 Euro. How does he already have more? Lamine Yamal is doing crazy shit. He's 17. He's probably going to be worth, I'm seeing 90 to 100 million euros right now, but he's not leaving Barcelona. He's the golden boy. Next up on the list, Nico Williams, the winger.
Inaki's brother.
For Spain.
My guy.
Inaki's little
Williams,
brother.
my guy.
And Nico, he scored that goal. He won man of the match. He was on fire. He was outperforming Lamine Yamal in the group stage before they got to the knockouts. Then Lamine started taking over. But Nico Williams is 21 years old, and he has a $58 million release clause, which he should be worth 80 to 90 to 100 million. But awful, awful contract in place where if anyone, and I mean, Barcelona might do it tomorrow, they can go up to Sevilla, 58 million, and he's Barcelona's within that if they want to, which they will. Nico Williams going to Barcelona. But next up, guy that I want to shout out, which I didn't even realize, this dude, Bradley Barcola, French guy. He's younger than us, just got transferred to PSG last season to play winger for them. He plays left wing. Mbappe plays left wing. Obviously, they were teammates at PSG. But now that Mbappe's gone and going to Real Madrid, Bradley Barcola is now the left winger for PSG. It's going to be him, Kolo Muani, who scored against Spain in that semifinal, like right away. He was that guy. But PSG, they're in a new little era, and I think Bradley Barcola has a chance to shine right now without Mbappe. So we'll see. And then last up, an Italian guy. This is just vintage Euros, because this guy gave up an own goal to lose and get bounced. But this guy, Calafiori, is now going to Arsenal after this Euros tournament. Is he going to play at Arsenal? No, he cannot break into the squad. Arsenal's 2 of the top 5 center backs in the world. He is not going to break in at right back over, Ben White, and he doesn't play left back. So he's just going to chill. Well, actually, he might be playing left back. No, actually thinking about it, that's where he might come in. But that dude, Calafiori, despite giving up an own goal for Italy to lose, he just had the hype, and now he's going to Arsenal. So shout out to him. That's just how this works. Interesting stuff going on in soccer. Interesting stuff.
A lot of young guys. A lot of young guys came out, showed out this term. Both these tournaments, and also we had guys who maybe were a little bit older, but like technically were like really breaking onto the scene too. Like we had guys on Argentina who are like 24, 25, 26 breakout. We had guys on
ironically, the
England breakout.
The Argentina squad right now, like objectively speaking, I know they just won the World Cup. Just won Copa America. They've won the last 2 Copa Americas. This is Messi's best team around him. But like when I think of past Messi teams with Guerrero, Higuain, I feel like those teams would be objectively better than they are right now. But for some reason, the current Argentina squad, they're
losing a lot in Di Maria.
I think they just
retiring, so
they like genuinely look up to Messi so much that they will just go.
But that's the thing. They looked up to him and to Di Maria though. But with Di Maria finally like calling it quits after this tournament, we'll see how that impacts the World Cup.
Yeah, it's honestly unreal that he's still been playing so well.
At 36, playing essentially the whole match.
Like he scored that goal in the World Cup, of course. Like in the final, like Di Maria's just been unreal. But yeah, I mean, Argentina, interesting little time. Like I would say though, one thing I'm thinking of before I get too boring on the soccer talk, I don't know how Barcelona is going to fit in all these guys. I don't know.
Ooh, they did it before.
Gavi might have to dip. I think Gavi's going to dip, but that's what I don't
know if they're too concerned about the money side of things.
Everett, Barcelona does not have Everett. Shout out Lionel Messi.
Well, I'm saying like Barcelona they didn't care before when they didn't really have money before to do things. I don't know if they'll care now, but
no, like right now they can't afford it. They can't make any big.
Yeah. Okay. Well, another thing that happened this weekend, Grant, and we're going to not spend that much time on this because I truly do not know how many people care, but this is significant enough that we do have to at least mention it. Wimbledon was this past weekend.
All right. Yeah. Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. All right. We got to talk some racket heads. All right. Carlos Alcaraz beat Novak Djokovic.
Yeah. Let's have some.
Normally,
talks.
Hey, look. In any given situation, I don't really know if we've really ever mentioned tennis before. Maybe we've talked Roger Federer once or twice, but Carlos Alcaraz, he's 21 years old. He is now 4 Grand Slams on all services, 2 at Wimbledon, 1 at Roland Garros, and 1 at US Open. Second player only after Federer to go 4-0 in his first 4 Slam finals. Never lost a Slam final. Okay. First male teenager to become the world number 1. He has 5 Master 1000s and a Channel Slam.
Okay. Now, help me out here because I'm not entirely sure. Tennis is in the Olympics.
Tennis is in the Olympics, yes.
Yeah, and it's like the lit guys. It's not like the other.
Yeah, no, it is the lit
Yeah.
guys, but also like keep in mind Carlos Alcaraz, 21 years old right now, right? He is back-to-back Wimbledon champions at 20 and 21
And
years old.
Wimbledon is the Masters of
that is yes. The Wimbledon is
yeah
the most pinnacle of tennis, royalty. But so being back-to-back 20, 21 years old, like that's
this is GOAT stuff.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Keep the monocle on Carlos Alcaraz. You got to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, no, monocle, and the little magnifying glass that you like.
I'm talking the Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah. So you have one of those, but I'm saying the other eye, you got one monocle. The other eye, you've got the pirate.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, like just go. You're gonna have to help me out. Does Alcaraz? I'm seeing Australian Open's the only one he hasn't won yet.
For sure.
Like, but or actually, let's start with this. I'm guessing Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, they've all won all four of those many times, I'm guessing, right?
They've all won. I don't really know what order though, because some of them have won a lot more than the others. And I don't know the full stats.
But like
there's Alcaraz, just difference.
And it might not take long. It might be next year, but he will need to win every Open to be like considered. Like, is it?
I think Djokovic is was considered like the king of grass. Like I think he might have the most Wimbledon titles.
Yeah, I've heard Nadal king of clay. Good luck. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, but like obviously, Alcaraz now is beaten. I think he's beaten Djokovic in back-to-back finals. So
yeah, I'm trying to find any years that have any of them ever swept. I don't think
Federer did maybe in like 2006.
Yeah, I could like according to what I'm looking at, Djokovic has never swept. Ever.
Yeah, no, he has problems when he gets to. He also has like health. He withdraws a lot.
Yeah. But just on this like I'm just looking. Djokovic has 98 career titles. Those aren't all majors. I could count up.
No, but look, before we bore too many people just with tennis talk, just GOAT watch right now. We have GOAT watch. That's really the premise of everything.
The day Djokovic retires, is there anyone that could compete with Alcaraz? Or is it just his era?
Right now, it's just his era.
It's just his era. Okay. All right. Well, I think that does.
I mean, winning back-to-back Wimbledon.
He's already beating Djokovic. Like, right? Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I'm gonna say it now. He's gonna sweep one of these years. He's gonna sweep.
I mean, probably. I mean, like, look, we've talked about for years. For years, it's been Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, maybe Kyrgios. Like, those are the guys we've talked about. And to this point, like, they've slowly fallen off one by one. Like Alcaraz, we haven't talked about. There's been nobody besides Alcaraz who is new that we've really talked about. Oh yeah, and Alcaraz was like, we started hearing rumblings about him a couple of years ago, and now he's really kind of come out. But Grant, we'll move on a little bit. I have a little fun fact I wanted to share. I know that like this is a little bit out of what we like to do now, but one fun fact I have, and then I have a game for us to play. Okay, Sean Livingston. You remember Sean Livingston?
How can I
right?
not forget?
I'm sure you know this stat though. You know that he never missed a mid-range shot in his entire NBA career, right?
Yes, of course. I'm extremely familiar with the totally real Sean Livingston stat.
Sean Livingston has not missed a single.
You're cutting out right now. Not gonna lie. I think you're good now. I don't know if ever can hear me, folks. But we'll see.
I don't know. I love the fact that my Wi-Fi can't support a toaster.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you're good. It's fully my side. Like,
okay,
it's just,
Sean Livingston.
12 people in this house, probably all streaming stuff.
No, yes, Sean Livingston. What about our needless king?
Did you not hear what I was saying?
I heard you had something about mid-range, him not making a single one, and then I did not hear after that.
I said that he's never missed a mid-range shot in his NBA career.
Was that it?
That was it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Yes, Sean Livingston has never missed a mid range.
100%. He's never missed one.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Damn. I thought we were gonna make a knee joke there. All right.
No, no. Well, even if I was, the inopportune time to just completely spaz out on my internet was not necessarily ideal.
Yeah, not quite. Sean Livingston. I just purely know.
Okay. Well, you know what? Just because of the timing of everything, and just the fact that that whole little segment just kind of went out the window thanks to my internet connection. Let's play the game, Grant. Let's play a game here. All right. We have 2 games today we're gonna play, and then obviously you have a list. But first game, comeback stories. All right. What do you think are the best comeback player of the year comeback stories of all time? We're talking Adrian Peterson coming off his ACL, Peyton Manning coming back to win the Super Bowl, Damar Hamlin dying and coming back. We have, Alex Smith's kneecap leg imploding.
Yeah, Alex Smith was my first thought. Not gonna lie.
Like what?
My first thought was Alex Smith there.
I would say, I mean, see, here's the thing. So I'm looking at a list right now. All right. I'm looking at a list of top 10 just players coming back. Obviously, Damar Hamlin's number 1 on this list. I'm gonna be real. Like, yeah, I can't argue with that because I mean he died on the field, but also he's not like a significant enough player where like it really him.
I thought he was the starting safety he just picked off Tom Brady though.
He did just pick off Tom Brady. He did do that.
He seems like the best safety in the NFL to me.
But he didn't convert. He did not convert a 4th and 10 on a fake punt though.
Yeah, people don't talk about that enough.
You want to talk about trying to get him his Heisman
Did the Bills
moment.
did they think this was a movie? Did they think this was like Rudy?
Everybody pauses and watches him. It's like Rudy. It's like Rudy. They're just
wow.
It cuts immediately. It cuts immediately that to the end of Coach Carter with the song, like the singing choir going.
Yeah.
The song I'm talking about. It's just everybody pauses. Damar Hamlin would go on to become an all-pro safety.
Yeah, it just does not make sense to me. It's crazy. But
like I think the quintessential comeback story ever that I've had is Alex Smith. I think that probably is like,
yeah, just knowing that he almost had to get his leg amputated
and died. Like, he almost had sepsis and died.
Yeah, like I'm gonna give that one to Big Alex Smith. If I were to think of just other,
Eric Berry came back from having cancer.
Yes. Wait. There's one other guy.
Brian Robinson getting shot.
Yes.
Coming back to many men.
I'm forgetting. But,
I mean, Adrian Peterson's MVP season coming off a torn ACL is still crazy.
Because at the time, people were like, running back ACL career ender. Like at the time, like
you're no one had gone. Career's over.
No one had ever seen someone come back off an ACL and perform.
And he came back in like 6 months.
Best season ever, correct?
Yes, that was his 2,098 yard season. I'm pretty sure. Whatever.
I remember around that time, like hearing about Adrian Peterson's ACL. Like I remember seeing pictures of his knee after surgery, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I mean, look at the incision. He'll never be the same." Like all this stuff that it's like, I would also say another thing that was kind of etched in my mind was right before former South Carolina star running back Marcus Lattimore, one of the most disgusting ACL injuries I'd seen, like just right before. Now I know that wasn't college. It's a lot different. I'm not saying Marcus Lattimore is AP, not saying that, but I just remember seeing that injury, seeing just it's like a kiss of death to a running back.
No, it is.
And AP coming back, putting up his.
I mean, still, even now, like ACL clearly is not as important now as it was, and like you can recover from it better. But like, let's look at Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook had his torn ACL, and I feel like that definitely impacted his longevity being a bell cow running back.
Yeah, I mean, Dalvin's only 28.
Yeah, and guess what? He's not on a team right now.
Yeah, no,
that's it. And it was quick. Like that fall off was quick. And there wasn't even really like he didn't even tear his ACL, but it was like long-term buildup on it
Yeah,
that just kind of
built
cut it.
up. Yeah, pain over time, just built up hits, little nicks and knacks over time.
Which is what we're learning is why we no longer have that many bell cow running backs. So
yeah, I mean, just at this state, like we could just chalk this up to many. We could think about pitchers in the MLB too. Just
yeah, a lot.
Historically has kind of just been kind of somewhat of a given, kind of expected of you to stay healthy throughout the year and perform. Like we're kind of now reaching a point where it's just like, what are we talking about? Like the average.
Yeah, I mean, Yamamoto just went on
60-day
IL.
Yeah, I mean, the average MLB pitcher can only make 19 starts a year, and there's 33 starts. So there are problems in place right now with how everything's structured. So we'll have to look into it. We'll have to look into it. Like especially NFL, it's very bad. NFL, it's very
bad. For running backs especially, which is why they're no longer getting paid money. Not to mention because of
I mean the rumors.
Le'Veon Bell, Melvin Gordon.
Scout told him.
Hey, no, yeah, literally.
You've taken 550 hits in your first 2 years at Ole Miss. Let's not do that.
Still a genetic, biological, and medical miracle is how Derrick Henry still can do what he does at his age after literally being the only thing on his offense for his high school and college years.
Like, when he was at Bama, like, dude, that guy.
Look, if you guys haven't seen it, just look at. Well, look up that and then look up Mark Ingram next to Derrick Henry moments in the coin toss.
Yeah. In the Natty. Hilarious. At that point, Mark Ingram's like year 5 in the NFL.
Keep in mind, like Mark Ingram, Heisman winning running back, like doing stuff in the NFL.
Mark Ingram did the chomp on Urban Meyer, Florida when Bama beat them in the SC championship. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Like when Mark Ingram hit the chomp, I was like, oh my God, Florida's dead. Florida's dead. They're dead. And within 2 years, Urban was gone. And within 3, he was at Ohio State. So, yeah, great times. I miss him. I miss him so much. But okay. Yeah, I mean, I want to give one little mini shout out.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll get it out of the way. Jalen Brunson just took one of the most team-friendly extensions I've ever seen in my life for this current era of the NBA. Pretty sure Jalen Brunson was eligible for an extension up to 50+ million per year. He did not take his max, and he signed a 4-year, $156 million extension for only $39 a year. Now, would be like 55. So he is saving like 16 million, which is a role player. So like LeBron, if you want to talk about taking less, Jalen Brunson just actually put his money where his mouth is and just left $16 million per year. So he left like 65 to 70 million off. He just said no.
No, like that's substantial.
And I want to give a shout out to Jalen Brunson because you don't see that. You don't see guys doing
that. Also opens up windows for them to extend some of these other core pieces that like
Mikal Bridges, I'm hearing wants to extend long term, and he is willing to also not take the max. And
if that happens too, like
they can really have a team together.
No, they get because look, everybody was joking. They're like, look at what the fucking
Knicks are doing. 6 picks.
They're building Villanova again. Nuts. Like they just gave up so much for players.
It is nuts still. Let's make that clear. It is still nuts, regardless of these contracts.
But
it's still nuts.
If they're wanting to build a team in that way, and these guys are gonna be like, look, we'll take less, and we can a team that has a fuck ton of good depth.
Yeah,
beats any if not most teams.
One of those guys they could end up keeping. You know, like they have so much flexibility now with that decision.
Yeah, and you go into free agency and you get one of these high value guys. Like it's going to be very marginal.
Yeah, I want to give some credit to Jalen Brunson though. You don't see it, like especially like
if
you want me to be the face of New York, I better get a max because I know
as the guy, you know, who personally stated, you know, the entire Villanova basketball team was washed besides Josh Hart. That peaked in college.
Oh yeah, well, for that year, I mean, yeah, I'm talking Archidiakono, Daniel Ochefu.
Yeah, but you do know who else was on that team?
Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and DiVincenzo were not on the 2016 Villanova men's basketball team.
Pretty sure they were.
They were not.
All right. Well, that's what our
I looked it
followers
up.
are saying. All right. Hey, okay. But as somebody, who was talking their talk on Villanova's team, I mean, the Villanova Knicks are really going
Dude,
together right now.
I was okay. I get what you're saying. Like, real quick, if any of those Villanova fans want to argue that Diacono, Ochefu, or Chris Jenkins had better NBA careers than winning the Natty at Villanova, they won a Nat. What are you talking about? What is Chris Jenkins going to do more important in his life than hitting that last shot? Nothing. And I mean that with all due respect. That's the greatest moment you could imagine in your life. He hit the buzzer beater to win the Natty for Nova in like first time in 40 years. What do you mean? What do you mean that wasn't his peak?
I don't think it's just one guy that they're necessarily concerned about. I think that it's the
Jalen Brunson.
remainders.
Oh yeah, Jalen Brunson is clearly has a much better NBA career than college career. DiVincenzo's the reason they won the Natty. It wasn't Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson 100% has a million, way better NBA career. So
I
just want to
mean,
put that out there.
yeah,
They are
yeah,
Philly
okay.
people though, so I can understand. They don't make much
Yeah,
sense.
that adds. I mean, that adds up. I've ran into my fair share of Philly
Oh yeah,
fans over the
oh
last
yeah.
day and a
And
half.
I
Pretty
love Villanova,
delusional
but
people.
shit, they might flip. I might start
Delusional
hating.
people. Hey, you know what? I didn't put Jalen Hurts in my top 10 quarterbacks. Immediately, like, was taking personal shots in my life because I decided to not put their favorite quarterback in the list. Which, by the way, Jalen Hurts fucking blows cock. So I mean,
I'm actually really concerned without Jason Kelsey. How's the tush push going to work?
no, that's the whole thing. Like I was looking at his stats the other day. By the way, his
Tush
like
push.
next gen stat like passing metrics are like not good. Like it's bad. But if you look at like technically speaking, he had like the most passing yards of his career this past season. Which yeah, okay, whatever, we can argue that. But at the same time, you're gonna be like, look at all of his rushing touchdowns. Why do you think he had rushing touchdowns? Because they got to the 1 yard line and push for the last yard. Like that's
Yeah,
how he got
and
there.
also I will give a lot of credit to Dallas Goddard. He's very good on the push.
No, he's got his
Goddard's
hands all
very
up in
good on the
there.
push.
He's got his hands all up in there,
Oh yeah, no,
all up in there.
he knows the perfect point contact pressure point to get Jalen across that line of scrimmage. He knows what to do. So we'll give a shout out
Yeah,
to
low
Goddard.
center of gravity,
Very low,
very low.
very low.
Okay,
I
Grant,
almost think Goddard should just get in a 3-point stance.
just
He's so good.
I'm really curious if that's going to be the next Madden game. That would make it almost impossible.
I actually have never thought about that.
That might make it impossible to
Probably will be, but
play. That's good. Yeah, that's okay. Grant, we got a game to play today. All right. Today's game, new recurring segment on this show. Today's game is going to be celebrities who are low key athletes. All right, who just sneaky athletes.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna set the tone here as I always do. This is gonna be a really easy one, really expected one. But Adam Sandler. All right.
Yeah,
everybody knows
legend.
Adam Sandler's a baller. He balls.
No. He's a pickup legend. Adam Sandler. We've all seen the clips. He's got game. Let's just say that he knows ball. He can hoop. All right, Adam Sandler. Hoop. Not someone you'd want to run into at the local just public YMCA. Basketball. Not a guy you want to run into at your local Y. Not a guy you want to see.
Definitely not. Klay Thompson was getting clamped by some guys at the local Y earlier in the week. If he ran into Adam Sandler's, it's over. It's over for Klay.
Yikes. Yeah, next one up. Now this one, my list is slightly more official. Okay. So I some record of when they playing.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna start off. This is gonna be a fun one. Not my most popular.
Okay.
Major Vikings fan and actor Josh Duhamel was a college quarterback at Minot State University. Not sure.
Is it in Minnesota? Like
I would guess Minot State.
Minot State.
Minot State.
Minot State.
I'm not sure, but Josh Duhamel, former college quarterback.
You know what? I don't know why, but that was one of the first guys I thought about when making this list. And I was like, I don't know if Josh Duhamel has played anything, but like he seems like the kind of guy who's played something.
Yeah. Knowing he's a quarterback doesn't surprise you.
Yeah, no. I'm going to go. Some people know this, some people don't, but Jason Statham was a high-level diver.
I also found out that Jason Statham was on the British national racing team.
Racing team?
Racing. I don't know if it's F1 or exactly what race he participated in, but some driving race that
things start. You know what? Things start to make sense now. Things add up a little.
I think I know why he's in Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, no, that makes he probably
Wait, that makes too much sense now that I actually think about it.
You know what? I just because we said that.
And the diving, he's in Megalodon, right?
Yeah, I now. You know what? Just because we said that, I now have to add this. But Tom Cruise, like everything he's. Well, I'm not saying he's done anything specific.
We're just talking to stunts.
Just, I mean, if you're like Tom Cruise, you got to learn how to play like Tom Brady. Tom Cruise will come out in a movie and he'll be better than Tom Brady was in the NFL.
I will say though, I saw that last Mission Impossible movie.
I have not seen it yet.
Purely because the marketing for that movie was just behind the scenes of his stuff.
It was the marketing was great. It was
like
great.
The big thing, and
that's also like
I seeing that behind the scenes. I was like, yeah, I need to go see that. Oh, little froze, little freeze.
Count him learning how to fly a plane like a fighter jet and driving a dirt bike as a stunt.
Yeah, like athletic. I mean, the Top Gun 2 promos.
Oh, okay, nice. My whole thing is still frozen. No, all right, there we go. But I was gonna say,
what were you guys? You're back now.
I mean, all right. This is going great.
This is gonna be quite a live stream later tonight, or tomorrow. But yeah, no, that
I mean, I'm telling you, it's because there's currently like 12 people in my house all trying to use our Wi-Fi at the same time, which is some stupidity.
I'm not blaming you right now.
But
we'll keep the line moving.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, next one. This one. I'm gonna save the actual most successful athlete for later because he's not that exciting.
I think I have the most successful one.
Okay. Ever just cut out again. But hopefully this one gets
gonna say
that. Channing Tatum played college football at Glenville State. Did not know that.
Hey, don't forget his run on Coach Carter too.
Yes.
Hooper.
Now, yeah, Channing Tatum, you look at him and you assume he's quite athletic, but yeah, college football at Glenville State on a scholarship. Did not stay for 4 years, but
hey, I don't blame him. And a great dancer.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe the dance team at
Magic Mike
State had more potential for him than the football team.
All right. Well, before I say mine, I just gotta make sure I'm not frozen right now, right?
You're good.
Okay. All right. My next one is Steve Carell. Played D2 hockey.
Yeah, Steve Carell hockey. I don't see that.
He was trying to go to the NHL, apparently.
I don't see Michael Scott playing Prison Mike. Yes. Prison Mike
definitely is locked in.
But just Michael Scott.
The only thing when I saw it and I was like, the only thing that was playing in my head was him trying to shoot a basketball in the Office episode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just while we're at it, Kevin from The Office.
He's actually like good. Like,
yeah.
That actor is actually like
Brian Baumgartner.
Yeah, Brian Baumgartner is actually like
fan. You won't like that part, but
I know. Yeah. John Krasinski as well is actually like a pretty good athlete.
Yeah. No, like I think I saw damn it, I'm forgetting his name. Who was married to Pam at the start? I heard he's very nice.
I know who you're talking, but I know everybody knows who you're talking about. Everybody knows.
I heard he's nice.
Nice with it. He's a baller.
Yeah,
you put him up against Adam Sandler. Is he got a chance?
Yeah, I heard like Kevin and was it Rob? What? Damn it! What was his name?
I don't.
I feel like
couldn't tell you. I haven't seen. Roy.
Yes.
Roy.
See, I knew it was an R. I'll give myself some points. But yeah, no, I heard Roy's a baller. But okay, yeah, you just went. Okay, now it's me again. Yeah, this one's kind of a fun one. Will Ferrell, high school soccer legend, and he also set his high school record for most field goals made when he was the place kicker for his high school football team. So, Will Ferrell, gonna give a shout out to you, high school sports legend.
Hey, Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good
Also,
one.
one of the greatest celebrity guest DJs in USC history. So
that was going to be the next. That was going to be my next comment. All right, I got to check again. We good? We're good.
Yeah,
I'm not
good.
frozen right now. All right. Grant, this might be my pick of a lifetime. Air Bud, the dog.
Bit of a cop out because yes,
what is it? What is it? A celebrity list without Air Bud?
By nature, Air Bud is the most athletic actor of all time. So
he is.
Based off of that, Air Bud, we got to put him on a pedestal when it comes to celebrity athletes. But I'm thinking Air Bud. He just shot free throws, correct? Now he never missed, so like I
think he had some layups. He had the Sean Livingston stats.
Yeah, according to my memory, like Air Bud, every time someone have to give him a little toss, and then he'd, then
it was a layup. There were layups.
But like I do think though, he'd be excellent at a loose ball. Oh, my Air Bud's getting every single
volleyball. You put him in volleyball, he's going for it.
Yeah, I mean he could dig.
He could go.
He could pass. He could pass quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, now that I think Air Bud would be really good. Back row volleyball.
Oh, great. He'd be great.
Absolutely butter every single time.
Nice with it.
But yeah, I like that one. I'll go. This one's a bit of a fun one. George Clooney, former baseball player, tried out for the Cincinnati Reds, did not make the team. But I can commend Mr. Clooney for trying out for the Cincinnati Reds. And at the time, the Reds were the team. The Reds were balling at that time. So I'll give Clooney that's the equivalent of me or you trying to walk on for the Boston Celtics right now.
Maybe their the Reds kind of giant fall off was because they didn't sign Clooney.
Pete Rose, maybe you got to look into that.
maybe
think about that a little bit.
You know what? We can stick on the baseball for a little bit. Matthew McConaughey, baseball.
We know a position that he played by any chance?
So he just has a really good arm.
Center.
Okay. He has a really good arm. So I think he tosses around the quarterbacks at Texas a lot. I think he was a pitcher for a little bit, but it's kind of nondescript. It was just baseball.
Yeah.
So maybe he's a Shohei Ohtani. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's a unicorn.
Maybe he's a bit of a prodigy. Hey, I also heard number 6 pick in the draft is a bit of a two-way player himself. Don't think he's quite Shohei two-way good, but
well, isn't he a two-way? Isn't he a two-way? I think the pick 15 was a two-sided pitcher. They had a guy who pitches right and
another one
left.
of those. God damn it. I hate those guys. They're the worst. They have special gloves with 6 fingers. Ugh, the worst.
Nice.
Disgusting. The worst is when they come up against a switch hitter because the rule states that before the AB, you're allowed to switch as much as you can. But every time the pitcher switches, the batter would switch.
The switch.
And vice versa.
And you just go back and
keep
forth.
on going until eventually the pitcher's like, fine, I'll be righty, you're lefty, fine.
And then the pitch clock violation happens.
Yes. No, yeah, by the time they've done all their switching, the runner's on first.
It's not a walk.
But yeah, okay, next little fun one. Forrest Whitaker played football at Caltech.
Yeah.
Who
would have thought?
Did not know that one. That was quite big. I got 2 more.
I mean, look, this one's a layup. You'll see what I mean in a second. Zac Efron.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I have a feeling we're just listing guys who played athletes right now.
Well, this is different. He actually like did like he actually does like rec basketball stuff.
Okay. I'll give it to Troy. I'll give it to number 14.
He is kind of nice. He is kind of nice.
Yeah, Ever is just cutting. It's getting quite bad. After this, I might have to give my 2, and we're gonna wrap up in a sec here. But I'm gonna end up Chris.
Yeah,
Pratt.
no, I'm not happy right now. I'm
Chris
not happy.
Pratt, high school wrestler. Chris Pratt did some great things, and then last one ever. This one, I would say, is the most successful athlete I could find. Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black. Tommy Lee Jones was a first-team All-Ivy League offensive guard for the 1968 Ivy League winning Harvard Crimson. What are they? What's their official Harvard? Not Crimson Tide. Harvard. What are they called? The Harvard what?
I don't know. You're talking about Stephen Hawking here?
Stephen Hawking, offensive guard. Is that what you heard me say?
So you cut out the entire thing. I heard like Harvard.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh,
former
very different.
First-time All-Ivy League offensive guard for Harvard.
Very, very, very different.
If Stephen Hawking was an all first-team Ivy League offensive guard at Everett, we need to end all Ivy League athletics today, right now, and forever. Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones was the all Ivy.
No, I could not tell you. I did see Stephen Hawking was an Oxford rower, though.
Maybe. He was the original.
Look, I wish my Wi-Fi was better because it's kind of making this episode a little shitty.
Yeah,
so I apologize.
We're gonna wrap up.
I apologize. I'm just gonna say as I'm good right now. I got two more for us real quick. Ice Cube, basketball baller. All right, easy, and unknown one. But Emma Watson played field hockey in college at Brown, so Emma Watson as well. But for the sanctity of the episode and for everybody's just ability to actually want to continue watching us, we're gonna end it here. So thank you guys so much.
I got one last NFL list to do your spill.
Okay, yeah. I got you. I'm unnecessary.
Top 10 NFL wide receivers heading into next year. Going 10-1. Keenan Allen, Puka Nacua, Brandon Ayuk, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. All right,
Everett. Yeah. Well, I apologize for my Wi-Fi's ineptitude today. And that not ideal. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at WaterboyPod. You can find me and Grant on Twitter at EverettStakes and at WaterboyGrant. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure to follow us and subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode. We also post on Instagram and on TikTok every week. So make sure to check us out there for exclusive content. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Make sure to check us out all week for live streaming information. I promise the quality and internet connection will be better. But with that, see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.